Hello and welcome to today's exciting workshop, where we'll dive deep into the 7 essential dimensions of applied behavior analysis. These dimensions are not just foundational concepts. They're the guiding stars that ensure ABA practices are meaningful, scientifically grounded, and truly beneficial for those we serve. Today, we're going to explore each dimension in detail, from the socially significant applied dimension to the enduring changes emphasized by generality. We'll use relatable examples to bring these concepts to life, and then put your understanding to the test with interactive mock exams. Whether you're new to ABA or looking to refresh your knowledge, today's session promises to deepen your appreciation for the rigorous and thoughtful approach that ABA brings to improving lives. Okay. Let's start. The 7 dimensions of applied behavior analysis were outlined by Donald M. Baer, Montrose M. Wolfe, and Todd R. Risley in their seminal 1968 paper. These dimensions form the guiding principles of ABA and ensure that interventions are effective, generalizable, and ethical. Each dimension is crucial for the practice of ABA and for ensuring that behavior analysis interventions are of high quality and practical utility. FIST Applied describes ABA, focuses on socially significant behaviors that have a real impact on the individual's life. This dimension emphasizes the importance of addressing behaviors that enhance the individual's day-to-day experiences. This dimension ensures that ABA is not just an academic exercise, but is grounded in real-world applications that improve quality of life and social integration. Examples for applied: teaching a child with autism to communicate their needs effectively through verbal requests or alternative communication methods. This activity is described as applied because it directly addresses a critical skill that enhances the child's ability to interact with their environment and meet their own needs. Effective communication is a socially significant behavior that can drastically improve the quality of life for a child with autism by enabling them to express desires, preferences, and discomforts. This skill is fundamental to social interaction, education, and overall well-being, making its development a priority within the applied dimension of ABA. Also, implementing a behavior plan to reduce instances of aggression in a classroom, improving the learning environment for all students. Reducing aggression through a behavioral intervention plan directly impacts the social environment of the classroom, making it safer and more conducive to learning for all students. This change is applied because it targets behavior that has significant implications for the social dynamics and educational experiences of students. By improving the classroom environment, the intervention directly benefits individuals, students showing aggression and their classmates, and the broader social system, the school community, aligning with the applied dimension's focus on socially significant behaviors. Behavioral describes ABA interventions target observable behaviors. This dimension requires that the behavior under study is measurable, and that the interventions produce observable changes in behavior. The dimension ensures that ABA practices target actions that can be seen, recorded, and quantified, rather than internal states or processes that cannot be directly observed. This focus on observable behavior is fundamental to the scientific analysis and intervention strategies in ABA. Examples for behavioral: monitoring the frequency of hand-raising in class to increase classroom participation. This activity is described as behavioral because it involves directly observing and counting an overt action hand-raising that can be seen and measured. Hand-raising is an observable behavior that serves as an indicator of student participation. By monitoring this behavior, practitioners can gather objective data on classroom engagement, and the effectiveness of interventions aimed at increasing participation. Next example is recording the number of completed assignments to address issues of homework completion. Similarly, tracking the number of completed assignments is behavioral because it focuses on a visible, measurable outcome. Completing an assignment is a behavior that results in a tangible product, the completed work, which can be counted and assessed. This allows for an objective evaluation of student performance regarding homework, facilitating the development and implementation of strategies to enhance homework completion rates. Now, Analytic. ABA practitioners demonstrate a reliable relationship between the interventions and the behavior change, showing that the behavior is under experimental control. This dimension requires ABA practitioners to employ systematic and scientific methods to prove that the intervention itself is responsible for the observed behavioral changes. By establishing a functional relationship between the intervention and the behavior, the analytic dimension ensures that ABA practices are evidence-based and grounded in empirical data. Examples for analytic: using a multiple baseline designed to demonstrate the effectiveness of a token economy on 2 students on task behavior. This scenario is described as analytic because the multiple baseline design is a research methodology that allows practitioners to demonstrate a cause and effect relationship between the introduction of a token economy and improvements in students on task behavior. By implementing the intervention at different times across settings, behaviors, or individuals, and observing a corresponding change in behavior following each introduction, practitioners can infer that the changes in behavior are due to the token economy and not to external variables. This careful analysis and demonstration of effect directly align with the analytic dimension's focus on empirically establishing the intervention's impact on behavior. Now, implementing a reversal design to show that increasing break times leads to a reduction in office referrals for disruptive behavior. Employing a reversal, or ABA, design is analytic because it involves introducing an intervention, increased break times, observing the effect on behavior reduction in office referrals, and then withdrawing the intervention to see if the behavior returns to baseline levels. If the behavior changes correspond with the presence and absence of the intervention, this suggests a functional relationship between increased break times and decreased disruptive behavior. The reversal design provides clear analytical evidence that the intervention is responsible for the behavioral change, fulfilling the analytic dimension's requirement for empirical validation of intervention effectiveness. Now, technological. ABA interventions are described clearly and concisely so that they can be implemented consistently by others. This ensures the intervention's replicability. This ensures that these interventions can be replicated accurately by others, maintaining the intervention's integrity and effectiveness across different practitioners and settings. It's about making the strategies and interventions accessible and understandable to anyone trained in ABA, thereby promoting consistency and fidelity in implementation. Examples for technological: writing a detailed behavior intervention plan that outlines each step of a discrete trial training program for teaching language skills. This activity exemplifies the technological dimension because it involves creating a comprehensive and detailed document that explicitly outlines how to conduct the discrete trial training. Each step of the process is described in such a manner that another practitioner could pick up the plan and replicate the training with fidelity. This level of detail and clarity ensures that the intervention is not dependent on the individual who developed it, but can be successfully implemented by others, reflecting the core goal of the technological dimension. Next, providing a clear step-by-step guide for implementing a self-monitoring checklist to increase independence in completing daily living skills. Similarly, offering a step-by-step guide for a self-monitoring checklist is technological because it breaks down the intervention into understandable and replicable parts. This guide ensures that others can apply the same intervention consistently, whether it's other professionals, caregivers, or the individuals themselves. The clarity and detail make the intervention technologically sound, adhering to the principle that a BA technique should be clearly described and easily replicated. Let's move to conceptually systematic. ABA interventions are grounded in the principles of behavior analysis, ensuring that the strategies used are linked to the basic principles of behavior. This means that the strategies used in interventions are directly linked to and derived from the basic theoretical concepts of ABA. This dimension ensures that ABA practices are not just a collection of techniques, but are coherent applications of behavioral science. Examples for conceptually systematic. Using differential reinforcement of alternative behavior to reduce instances of calling out in class, based on the principle of reinforcement. This intervention is described as conceptually systematic because it applies a specific principle of behavior, analysis reinforcement, to decrease undesirable behavior calling out and increase desirable behavior, raising a hand or waiting to be called on. DRA involves identifying an alternative, appropriate behavior to reinforce, while the inappropriate behavior is placed on extinction or receives less reinforcement. This direct application of reinforcement principles to modify behavior exemplifies how ABA interventions are conceptually grounded in behavioral theory. Implementing a functional communication training program to address tantrums derived from the principle that behavior is a form of communication. FCT is an intervention that teaches individuals to use appropriate communication methods to meet their needs, instead of using maladaptive behaviors, such as tantrums. This strategy is conceptually systematic because it is based on the principle that all behavior, including tantrums, serves a communicative function. By teaching an alternative, socially acceptable way to communicate, FCT applies the concept of behavior as communication to reduce maladaptive behaviors. This reflects a deep integration of ABA's foundational principles into practical intervention strategies. Okay, now effective. ABA interventions produce significant and practical changes in behavior. The effectiveness is evaluated through data to ensure that the intervention meets its goals. For an intervention to be considered effective, it must lead to observable and meaningful outcomes that improve the individual's quality of life or ability to function in their environment. This dimension ensures that ABA practices yield results that are not just statistically significant, but also socially and personally significant for the individuals involved. Examples for effective. Demonstrating a 50% reduction in self-injurious behaviors following the implementation of a sensory integration strategy. This intervention is described as effective because it results in a substantial and measurable decrease in self-injurious behaviors, a change that significantly impacts the individual's well-being and safety. The reduction in harmful behaviors illustrates the practical impact of the intervention, aligning with the goal of producing meaningful outcomes through ABA techniques, showing a marked increase in independent living skills, such as cooking and budgeting, as a result of a targeted skills training program. The significant improvement in skills necessary for independent living demonstrates the effectiveness of the ABA intervention by enhancing abilities that are crucial for day-to-day functioning, such as cooking and budgeting. The intervention directly contributes to the individual's independence and quality of life. These outcomes highlight the real-world applicability and success of the intervention, marking it as effective. Lastly, generality. ABA interventions are designed to ensure that the behavior change lasts over time, appears in environments other than where it was taught, and spreads to other behaviors not directly targeted by the intervention. This ensures that the benefits of an intervention are not confined to the specific setting in which the intervention was implemented, or to the specific behaviors that were targeted. Instead, the changes should have a broader impact on the individual's life. Examples for generality. A student learns to greet peers in the classroom, and this behavior generalizes to greeting people in different settings, such as the playground or cafeteria. This example illustrates generality because the behavior change greeting peers observed in the initial setting. Classroom extends to other environments, playground, cafeteria, without additional training in those settings. The student applies the learned behavior across various contexts, demonstrating the ability to generalize the skill beyond the original learning environment. This broad application signifies that the intervention has not only taught a specific behavior, but has also impacted the student's overall social interactions in a positive way. Teaching a child to request items using picture exchange in therapy sessions, and the child begins to use the same method to request items at home and in the community. This scenario exemplifies generality by showing how a skill learned in one context, therapy sessions, is applied in other contexts, home, community, and potentially to a wider range of items or needs. The ability of the child to transfer the use of picture exchange from the therapy setting to daily life situations indicates that the skill has generalized, enhancing the child's communication abilities in various aspects of their life. Mock Exam 1. A team of therapists records the number of times a student engages in disruptive behaviors during class to monitor the effectiveness of a new behavior plan. Which dimension of EBA does this scenario best illustrate? 1. Applied. 2. Behavioral. 3. Analytic. 4. Conceptually systematic. Correct answer is 2. Behavioral. The focus on recording observable and measurable instances of disruptive behavior aligns with the behavioral dimension, emphasizing observable and measurable aspects of behavior. Why other choices are wrong. Applied focuses on socially significant behaviors while relevant. The scenario emphasizes the observability of behavior. Analytic pertains to demonstrating functional relations, not the main focus here. Conceptually systematic involves linking procedures to the principles of behavior analysis, not highlighted in this scenario. Mock Exam 2. Sarah, an ABA therapist, decides to focus her intervention on teaching a child with autism to request food items using complete sentences. This skill is important for improving the child's ability to communicate their needs in various settings. Which dimension of EBA does this scenario best illustrate? 1. Applied. 2. Behavioral. 3. Analytic. 4. Technological. Correct answer is 1. Applied. This scenario exemplifies the applied dimension because the intervention targets a socially significant behavior that directly impacts the child's daily life and communication skills. Why other choices are wrong. Behavioral focuses on observable behaviors, while the scenario involves behavior The emphasis here is on the social significance of the behavior. Analytic involves demonstrating the behavior change is due to the intervention, not the focus of this scenario. Technological involves the clear and detailed description of procedures not addressed in this scenario. Mock Exam 3. A detailed manual is created for implementing a specific token economy system in classrooms, including step-by-step instructions, materials needed, and response strategies for common challenges. Which dimension of EBA does this scenario best illustrate? 1. Behavioral. 2. Analytic. 3. Technological. 4. Conceptually systematic. Correct answer is 3. Technological. The creation of a detailed manual that allows others to replicate. The token economy system exemplifies the technological dimension, emphasizing the importance of clear, detailed, and replicable descriptions of interventions. Why other choices are wrong. Behavioral focuses on observable behaviors. The scenario is about documentation. Analytic pertains to demonstrating functional relations, not the main focus here. Conceptually systematic involves linking interventions to the principles of behavior analysis, while related. The scenario specifically highlights the detailed description of the procedure. Mock Exam 4. Marcus, a behavior analyst, systematically varies the schedule of reinforcement for child's task completion to determine the most effective reinforcement schedule for maintaining the behavior. Which dimension of EBA does this scenario best illustrate? 1. Analytic. 2. Technological. 3. Effective. 4. Generality. Correct answer is 1. Analytic. Marcus' systematic variation of reinforcement to identify its impact on behavior demonstrates the analytic dimension, focusing on understanding the cause and effect relationship between the intervention and the behavior change. Why other choices are wrong. Technological focuses on the detailed description of interventions, not the primary focus here. Effective relates to producing significant changes in behavior, while important, the scenario emphasizes analysis. Generality concerns the behavior change lasting over time and across contexts not addressed in this scenario. Mock Exam 5. When designing a new intervention to reduce self-injurious behavior, Dr. Lee ensures that the strategies used are directly based on principles of reinforcement and punishment, as described in behavior analysis literature. Which dimension of EBA does this scenario best illustrate? 1. Analytic. 2. Technological. 3. Conceptually systematic. 4. Effective. Correct answer is 3. Conceptually systematic. Dr. Lee's adherence to behavior analysis principles in developing her intervention demonstrates the conceptually systematic dimension, ensuring that practices are grounded in the theoretical foundations of ABA. Why other choices are wrong. Analytic focuses on demonstrating cause and effect relationships through analysis, not the primary focus here. Technological concerns the clear and replicable description of interventions, not the focus of this scenario. Effective relates to the intervention producing meaningful behavior change, while important, the emphasis here is on theoretical grounding. Mock Exam 6. Following the introduction of a reading comprehension strategy in the classroom, not only do the students show improvement in reading at school, But parents also report increased reading and comprehension activities at home without additional instruction. Which dimension of EBA does this scenario best illustrate? 1. Effective. 2. Generality. 3. Technological. 4. Conceptually systematic. Correct answer is 2. Generality. This scenario exemplifies the generality dimension, as the behavior change, improved reading comprehension is maintained over time, occurs in environments other than the one in which it was originally taught, school and home, and affects related behaviors, increased reading activities at home. Why other choices are wrong. Effective is concerned with the intervention producing significant behavior change. While the scenario indicates effectiveness, the emphasis is on the generalization of the behavior change. Technological involves clear, detailed descriptions of procedures, which is not the focus of the scenario. Conceptually systematic ensures that interventions are based on the principles of behavior analysis. While likely true in this scenario, the focus is on the spread and maintenance of behavior change, characteristic of generality. Mock Exam 7. After implementing a new social skills training program for children with developmental delays, the behavior analyst observes a significant increase in positive peer interactions among the participants, which sustains over several months and across different social settings. Which dimension of EBA does this scenario best illustrate? 1. Analytic. 2. Effective. 3. Technological. 4. Generality. Correct answer is 2. Effective. The significant and sustained improvement in social behaviors among the children demonstrates the effective dimension. It highlights that the intervention has led to meaningful, practical changes in behavior that are observable and significant. Why other choices are wrong. Analytic focuses on establishing a functional relationship between the intervention and the behavior change while analysis is involved. The scenario emphasizes the outcomes of the intervention. Technological is about the detailed description of the intervention for replication, which is not the focus of this scenario. Generality involves the behavior change lasting over time and appearing in different settings or spreading to other behaviors. Although this scenario hints at generality, the primary focus is on the effectiveness of the intervention in producing a meaningful change. Wow, what a journey we've taken together today, through exploring the 7 dimensions of applied behavior analysis. We've seen how comprehensive and nuanced the ABA approach truly is. From focusing on socially significant behaviors to ensuring our interventions are based on solid behavioral principles. We've covered a lot of ground. I hope the examples and mock exams have not only clarified these dimensions, but also inspired you to apply them with a deeper understanding in your work or study. Remember, these dimensions are more than just academic concepts. They're principles that guide us in making real-world, positive changes in the lives of those we work with. Thank you for your enthusiastic participation and for all the thoughtful questions and insights you've shared. It's your curiosity and dedication that drive the field of ABA forward. Keep questioning, keep learning, and most importantly, keep applying these principles to make the world a better place for everyone. Until next time, keep making a difference with ABA. And don't forget to reach out with any questions or for further discussion. Thank you for joining today. And here's to our continued journey in the fascinating world of applied behavior analysis.